Hey, welcome back. Let's talk about rejection. And I'm going to talk about the jobs that I didn't get this week, because every week I get torrents of emails come in. I think I had about 25 this week. Out of those 25, 17 seemed like things that I might be interested in. So I put out 17 quotes, 16 of them rejected me or didn't respond, and one said yes. And I just want to sort of talk about that and sort of reassure you and give some advice. And I'm also going to show the quote that I sent out to one of them who rejected me, talk about their response, and then sort of show you how I work with that. First of all, I get rejected more than I get accepted. That's just a fact of photography. Whether it's wanting to have a feature somewhere, whether it's wanting to do a shoot for somebody, most of the time people say no because they don't need it, and that's fine. It is part of our business. However, this particular instance, I think, gives an interesting story to it and perhaps a lesson to be learned from all of us. So I'm going to read through an edited version of the email, go through my quote, go through their response, and talk about the whole thing. I'm going to be looking this way whilst I'm reading. Probably won't get it to pop up on the screen because I'm bound to accidentally share some details. I'm going to sort of paraphrase a bit as well. So we're looking for 25 products to be shot as white cutouts, as well as having 3 shots of each project in situ in an editorial kind of style. We require 100 images in total of our dishes to be delivered as full res 16-bit TIFF files to be used worldwide for point of sale, e-commerce, and social media. Would you be able to quote for this? Thanks, person's name. I respond going, sounds great, sounds like something I'd be really interested in. Here's the rough costing. We don't give exact costings at this stage. I say for 5 days shooting, my labor fee will be £6,000. For 5 days styling, it's going to cost you around £2,000 to £2,500. An assistant's going to cost you £1,250 for this time. The retouching will be about £900 to £1,000. The licensing fee for this sort of shoot will be £13,500. That's a total of £23,650, which sounds astronomical, I know. It doesn't all go in my pocket. There is huge fees to go out for agent. There's the staff. Anyway, I'm not going to justify my fees, but just know that I don't make £23,000 a week on average. That's not a normal week. Or at least I don't make that much profit. Anyway, by the by, they came back to me and said, we've already had another quote, which is a lot cheaper. They've billed us £5,000. And I'm thinking, well, if the stylist is £2,000, I know that stylist prices do not fluctuate that much, you know. They're going to have a stylist for this anyway, so they're charging £3,000 for photography and usage. Without usage, that's me working at half price. And I just replied going, not a problem. It's not the sort of price we can match, but love to work with you again in the future. And they sent a nice response going, yeah, no problem at all. We'll be in touch if there's anything suitable. All good, all fine. And that is absolutely fine. Now, when you're starting out, chances are if you've just had 16 rejections and only 1 acceptance and they're all saying you're too expensive, you're going to drop your prices. And this is something you should never do. Just because somebody asks you for a quote doesn't mean that you're the right person for them. I had somebody ask me for a quote this week, which I didn't even respond to, asking about photographing a tent top on a white background that's 6 foot. Like, I don't do that. You know, I just don't do that. I photograph food. So a lot of people, they just want a photographer. And even then within an ad agency, there's different levels of ad agencies. And some of them, you know, they're looking to get something done for a certain price. They might think that you're that person, but you're not. Or, you know, whatever it may be. I've had agencies come to me for shoots that are so far beyond my abilities. I've had to go, look, I'm really sorry. You need one of the following people. I cannot do this. And likewise, I've had people come to me and I'm just like, look, you don't need me. You need one of these people over here who are cheaper because you're not going to get this within your budget with me. That's all fine. There is no problem with this. There's no shame. There's no like need to adjust because what you have is your service at your level, at your price. If you start changing it every time someone goes, oh, you're a bit expensive, oh, you're a bit cheap, whatever it may be, it's going to cause some real problems for you long term because your business is going to be going up and down and up and down. If you try to please everybody who comes in for a quote and try to align your prices with their budgets, you're going to be the photographer who's the cheap bottom feeder. And when the big jobs come in, they won't book you. Now, it is completely normal for me to be rejected by more jobs than I get. And if you speak to a salesperson, they're like, yeah, well, you're not selling very well. It's like, no. The way that our business works is different to that. We're not selling something for a tenner. These are high value sales. Someone's not going to walk into a car lot and just go, I've got £1,000. Can you tell me how much this car here is? There's 120 grand. Can you do it for 1,000? No. You know, it's that sort of thing. There's such a range. It's like cars. I talk about cars because I've only just learned to drive and I find cars fascinating. Not in terms of like a petrol head kind of way, but just in terms of how much difference was between, anyway, digression. So you've just got to remember that what they're looking for might not be you. And if they've looked at you thinking it might be, that's fine. And you just go, I'm really sorry, this is not the match for me, and then move on to the next person until they find it. Now, I've had a lot of big jobs come in because a few years ago, someone came to me and said, we've got £500 for this shoot, and I've just gone, I'm really sorry, my rates start at this point. Now, when the big job comes into that agency, they come to me because they're like, we couldn't afford him before, but now we've got a big budget. We know this matches his budget, and this is the sort of production that he'd be interested in, so we'll book him now. And that's great, but if I'd have done that cheap shoot, when the big shoot comes in, they'd have been like, yeah, we need to find a big photographer because this is the cheap photographer. We need the good one now. And that's sort of how it plays out. So this is a bit of a rambling video, I know, but hopefully there's some sort of useful information in here. If you have questions about this, just drop them in the comments below, because I always check the comments, always read them, and I'll either respond to it directly or make another video like this about it. So rejection's normal. Rejection's high. We had a lot of rejection as photographers. We just have to sort of learn to live with it, learn to accept it, and just move on. Don't change who you are because somebody else wants you to be something different. Standard rules. I hope this has been of interest to you. Do hit subscribe, do hit like. Really helps my channel out, and I'll see you next time.